Welcome back to Karis Investment, where investment makes simple, guys. If you are tuning in, I want to thank you for your time. As usual, if you're subscribed, we appreciate you. Guys, we're growing as a family. Let's keep it going. As usual, I create simple videos to make sure that everyone get an opportunity in the stock market to make safe and smart investment. Now, for those of you guys that have been investing for a while, you guys should have known by now that the market is actually in a perfect opportunity to wait for the perfect entry for any stocks that you want to invest in. Now, obviously on my screen, we are discussing Xpeng from China, ticker symbol XPEV. If you guys have invested in this company in the last, I would say, year, you have seen a big difference in what the stock price is today or for the last few days. Now, if you guys are looking to enter in this stock, now is the perfect opportunity. Now, I will be diving into why I think this is a great opportunity, not because the market is low, but long-term potential with this company versus NIO and versus Liauto from the Asian market side. Now, I will go through the intro, and once we come back, we'll dive into if it's a great opportunity. We'll break down what the company has been doing for the last few days. Welcome back. Yes, indeed, guys. Now, if you take a look at my screen in a bit, you will see that Xpeng, or if you take a look at your screen to make sure we are following along to see what's going on in the market, we can see that Xpeng have took a little bit of a dive this morning. Let's take a look here. We can see the stock price for the day. Let's just back it up here, break it down by 5-minute frequency. We can see opens up and it starts to go up just around $11.88, but then we saw a huge pullback, but then we saw a small recovery. So this is a great sign for anyone that invested in the company. Now, as usual, I let you guys know when it's a good opportunity. Now, yesterday, prematurely, I bought in some shares in the low $12 per share. It didn't work out so well for this morning, but I did go in and get some more shares to lower my average. So pretty much I'm okay right now because, as we can see, shares were trading below $8.33. So I was able to top in just around $11.50. Now, guys, if you take a look, we can see for the week how the company is actually performing. We can see for the month, we can see for the year, and of course, since January. Now, the stock price took a huge beating. For any of you guys that have traded Xpeng shares, I would say from 2021 to 2022. For anyone that got in the early 2020 in the pandemic, it would have been obviously a great opportunity because you could have made a lot of money on this trade. So this is why it is important to do research before you jump in and start to invest in the stock market. Now, one of the big news in terms of Xpeng, we saw that news came out that the co-founder and CEO, Mr. And I hate if I pronounce the name bad, but Mr. Xpeng, he have bought 2.2 million American depository receipts, ADR. So this kind of helped the price to kind of rebound for anyone that's taking a look and see, hey, why the price starts to reverse. But basically, if we look in the last 5 days, we have seen the company was trading just over $14.60 per share, with the exception for the 26th. We saw it was just over $15. Now, the market for EV in general was down for the morning. If you guys have been trading, you have seen that Tesla yesterday, I believe, was down a bit, like 3-4%. We saw this morning Tesla was down in the low 260s as well. We saw Lucid was down, Rivian, a lot of different companies in the market was trading lower than usual. We saw Porsche took a hit yesterday as well. So the market is kind of with fear of inflation, with fear of interest rates. There is a ton A lot of uncertainty is going on. We saw the US dollar is rising as well. So that's creating a lot of fear in the market for people that is afraid of recession so far. And not too afraid, but for people that concern, and you want to make sure that you make the best decision that actually that's actually benefiting you, right? So it's not a matter of if you're afraid to invest, is that there is a ton that's going on, and sometimes in the market this can really cloud your judgment to make safe investment or to make a great decision, right? That's one of the main thing. The key decision in investing is to make sure that we can make safe and calculated risk decision. You don't want to jump into a trade like blindsided because that you're following a certain news. Now, also, I was reading last week that Xpeng have made some changes to the G9 flagship SUV that they released back on September 21st. So that will help the stock price a bit to recover. Now, I don't want to make this too long. I was going to create an actual video and do some editing, but I will be heading out for the day. I have been extremely busy this past month. So I haven't really get much time to create a lot of videos. Most of my position basically is I'm just accumulating right now. So this is the reason why I haven't really made a lot of videos, because I'm buying and holding shares to go long term, right? So shares that I had before that took a beating in the last, I would say, month, like Tesla, we're looking at Rivian, Lucid. Then for sure you have to buy some shares to lower your average. Now, Xpeng was a perfect opportunity because I've had a lot of shares for Xpeng over the last few years, and I was able to sell those shares off when I jump into the Lucid and the Rivian. And now I'm able to rebuy most of the shares I own in the past years because the price is low. And this is why it's important to buy at a low price. And it's also important to sell when the price is actually trading lower than what it is, right? So you got to take the good with the bad. Now, for those of you guys like myself that owns shares of Apple, I believe, let's take a look here. So Apple is trading just around 141.92. That's a good opportunity as well. So this video is not only going to be about Xpeng. I apologize if the thumbnail says Xpeng, but I just want to go over, I think it's a great idea to go over what we have in our portfolio and what we're changing and what we're increasing. Now, I told you guys in the past as well, in terms of Tilray, we have seen that Tilray took a beating in the last, I would say, 2 weeks. Now is a great opportunity for you guys to buy some shares of Tilray, or even with Canopy Growth, because the price is looking very, very attractive, right? But we can see multiple sectors is getting beaten up. Not just the EV sector. Obviously, the EV sector, if you're following it closely, then for sure, you don't want to get too many of the EV investment right now, because if you're in Tesla, like myself, I've always been in Tesla, even though I sell a lot of shares, but I keep on using it to buy other EVs that make a fast profit in a short time and then go back in as a safe haven. But I believe with NIO and with Xpeng, there is a ton of opportunity for the stock price to go up. Now, if you're invested in CleanSpark and ChargePoint, those are some of the videos I pushed back in 2021 when I says, guys, we got to sell at these high prices. Now, if you take a look now, those prices are down like 80% from when I made those videos before, right? So if you took that advice and you sell in the high 29s or high 35 for CleanSpark, now is opportunity. It's trading at below $3.30. So just imagine if you're holding above 40 and you didn't sell, then you know, a year later, that's a big difference in price. The same go for Workhorse and those companies. So it's important to buy low. Don't wait until the price starts to rise and then we get excited. Then we start to buy a lot of shares. And then if something happened, we get stuck holding those shares long term. Guys, it's great to own shares, but at the same time, you want to make sure that we're not overcommitting to these stock prices, because at the end of the day, anything could happen in the market, guys. You got to make sure you're playing it smart. I remember when Xpeng was over $68 per share, I told people, I says, listen, At $67 per share, I'm okay selling. Even when it went to 74, I believe 76, a lot of people were, was happy, was cheering. But I said it's the stock market. If you wait patient enough, these prices will come back down. And this is what we saw with Xpeng, we saw with Neo, we saw with GameStop. A lot of these companies, we have to know when to exit our position and to take profit, because sometimes, to be honest with you, if the market is afraid that it's going to go down, even though companies will be performing well, if majority of people are selling because they think that's where the market is going, eventually the market will go down, right? Don't try to fight against the trend, because if you're investing, keep it simple. Someone once said to me, you know what? The game is to buy and hold and sell. It's simple. You buy low and you sell high. The issue for some people is that when the price is too high, they're afraid to sell, and then they end up holding too long, and then you end up losing money in the long term. And this is what we don't want to happen. We want to make sure that we're taking opportunity. We're not overextending our portfolio. We want to make sure that we are selling when we're supposed to. Now, say a typical example, and I really want to sneeze. My nose is going like crazy. But if we look a year ago, back in December 2021, or if we even look in the beginning of December, the stock was trading over $50 per share, right? I told a lot of people at this point that says it's a great opportunity to sell and hold. Now, even though I sell frequently with this stock, I always go back and get some shares. Now, if we look back when it crosses over $73 per share up to around 76, I believe at this point, I sold a little bit premature, but I was still okay because I sold between 65 to 68. And then it still goes up another like $6-7 per share. And a lot of people are saying, hey, you sell too fast. But no, it was a great opportunity, because if we take a look back, a month later, I was able to get back in the 30s, and I was able to sell again in the 50s. And I kept doing the same thing. I keep buying in the low. We bought in the 35 here. We're able to make a quick sale. We come back, bought in 23. We're able to sell again in the 50s. And then I says, you know what, let's take a break and wait patiently, because there was other opportunities. And this is how you got to trade the stock market. Now, I'm not a master at this. Sometimes it's just purely luck, of course, and sometimes it's just not being too greedy. If you be too greedy in companies like this, you will lose money, right? Keep in mind, we're not hedge funds. We're not rich to be holding shares and be too committed to it, because at the end of the day, guys, it's either you make money or you actually lose money. Right. So if we take a look, for example, in the last 3 months, if you have been holding, we saw a rebound actually. In the summer, we saw it was down in spring. Right. It breaks $20 per share because the market itself, everyone was selling, was panicking. The market was going in that direction. But then once that time was up, we saw the price move from below 20 back in the mid 35s. So that huge swing, normally it's like elastic band, you know, it shuts up, it's going to come down for a bit, right? So if you're thinking that, hey, you know what, it's going up right now, let me sell and take some profit, then definitely you'd have made the right decision, because a lot of time we're holding too long and then we're missing out an opportunity. Now, again, this is another opportunity. Again, we saw in the last 2 weeks, it was in the high teens. We saw it came down and break $11.40 per share, $11.40 per share. And then we start to see it rebounds again, right? So now you have to think, hey, for this week, we have seen it came down, it breaks $12, it goes to as low as $11.40 and more. Okay, is it a good time? For me personally, it is a perfect time. This is why I jump in. I bought up a few shares and I'll wait patiently until the stock price rebound. Now, it won't always work in your favor, but I find if you buy at a lower price, you will definitely have more time to wait and more patient, of course, because you're buying at a low price. It's a simple saying as buy low, sell high. I'm sorry, I'm just checking my phone here. I actually have an appointment with 2 meetings today. So it's patience that actually makes you make money in the stock market. Keep it realistic. If you're buying in Xpeng at $11.50 per share, it is a great price. Now, a lot of people would still think, hey, I want it to go to 1050. Yes, it could go to 1050, but what's the chances of it going to 1050? If Xpeng is going to 1050 per share or even breaking $10, then there are going to be a lot of different opportunities in terms of Tesla, in terms of NIO, because the market would be going in the same direction. At that point, you cannot lose, right? So I just analyze it really simple. If it's a company that I think, if this company can make money in the long run, if this company have potential, then that's fine. Now, my plan for this stock right now is I'm going to hold for another 6 months if possible. Now it's what? It's September right now. So based on historical data, in my opinion, again, you can do your own research, but based on historic data, the company always seems to be rising. If we take a look here, the first big jump we saw back in November of 2020 or October of 2020, it rise, it skyrocket and passes $70 per share. Right? I'm not expect $70 per share, but it is possible to break $50 per share in the next couple of months if the market start to turn. Now, as well, if we saw in March and May, the same thing happened. Now, if we look again in 2021, a year later, we saw by the end of September, in the beginning of October, the stock price was in the $34, $35 per share. And then 2 months before the new year, it shot to over $55 per share. And then we saw the same repeat again in 2022. This year, in March, similar to March of 2021, it dips again, right? It dips below $19 per share. And then we saw in 2 months, in a month, I should say, it breaks 30. It has a small pullback again below 20. And then we saw the same thing in May. It shots over $35 per share. So the pattern is lining up for a great run. So if you're looking in the market, you're thinking, hey, there is a ton of EV company. Now, obviously, if you're in Tesla, you're fine. The next wild card would be Rivian. I still like Lucid because the price is very attractive. Even with the cash burn issue and what they have right now, I'm still okay with Rivian and with Lucid, and of course with Tesla. But Xpeng have a great upside right now. In my opinion, I think Xpeng could help you to probably give you 200-300% in the next few months coming. Not next year, in the next months coming, I believe Xpeng could produce 200 to 300%. That's 3 times your investment. I'm aiming for Xpeng to hit back around $45 to $50 per share. It is a long stretch, but when I see the co-founder and the CEO start to rebuy up shares and stuff, it shows his commitment. He's not trying to run away. He knows it's for the long term, right? I know it's for the long term. I know with Beijing specifically that a huge amount of investment is going. We even see self-driving taxis, or we saw a lot of improvement going on with the battery as a service going on in the country. So if improvement is starting to show in China in terms of the green space, and I think a local company such as Xpeng, NIO, and Liauto have a huge amount of revenue to make in the future. Of course, they're still dominated by Tesla, but for how long, right? For how long will these companies keep dominated in their own country by Tesla is for us to find out. So, but again, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys are buying shares of Xpeng. Let me know if you guys are staying away. Let me know what you guys are doing. You cannot go wrong, even though this video is on Xpeng. If you hold in Tesla shares, even though I saw a lot of analysts are projecting a huge price drop in Tesla, keep in mind they have been proven wrong before. But in terms of NIO, in terms of Xpeng, in terms of Liauto, BYD as well, these companies have a huge upside to it. You just want to invest at the right time to make sure that you can take profit. Now, again, this is not gospel, guys. You have to make your own decision. No one is telling you that you can't invest in any of the other companies. It is totally up to you. You have to make that decision. And once you make that decision, then at the end of the day, guys, you cannot be wrong. Just make sure that you're doing Just do your research to make sure that you're making the right decision that's benefiting you, and to make sure that you're well aware of what you're investing. So as usual, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys are doing. If you guys are selling, if you guys are holding, and obviously, until next time, guys, peace out.